Alright, welcome back, hot dogs. Your boy Spider Pig. Y'all know what time it is? It's like 8 a.m. on a Saturday, which means it's Super Saturday, because y'all know that's how we get down around here. Y'all know we got the Venom thermal rocking still. It's air conditioning down here, so hell, I can throw the robe and the thermal on and be cool while I record this video. But let's make sure y'all see the effect while you see me, right? Right. Anyways, the guys will keep asking me, why are you just sitting there in your shorts videos? I use my short videos when I'm doing my video reviews, so therefore, if I don't say nothing during that point in time, you gotta actually see how I use it in the future, because that's what it is. It's a here, check out this video slash check out me watching this video type of deal. I gotta explain things to people, but I do it in video. So if you don't watch the video that explains what we doing, you can stay lost. You dig? I mean, it's part of the process. But y'all know how we do. We gonna flip the camera around, see what the videos is looking like. Okay, it still says we're recording on Rumble, so that looks good. I had to fix a couple tech problems, but y'all know how that be. Y'all know how that be. Right. Right. Let's go.
You want to grow stronger? Well, let me tell you something no one else will. Comfort is your enemy. Power doesn't come to the cautious. It doesn't bow to the timid or the lazy. Look at me. I was born a prince, raised in battle, forged in pain. And still, I was not the strongest. I was not the fastest. I was second. Always second. But I never stayed there. Why? Because I refused to let my limits define me. I broke my body 1,000 times. I bled. I failed. I fell. But every time I stood back up, stronger, harder, hungrier. That's what surpassing your limits looks like. It's not some miracle. It's a war, every day, with yourself. And you don't stop when it hurts. You stop when you say it's done. You want to be better? Then get angry. Get obsessed. Train when it's cold. Fight when you're tired. Push when there's nothing left to push. Because the moment you stop trying, you're already dead. This world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It throws you into the fire and dares you to survive. But what are you gonna do? Break or break through? Be the one who defies the odds. Be the one who refuses to kneel. Be the one who surpasses their limits or die trying. You all came here looking for answers, looking for inspiration. But I'm not here to comfort you. I'm not your friend. I'm not here to pat you on the back and tell you that everything's going to be okay. I'm here to tell you the truth. And the truth is this: the universe does not care about your potential. It only cares about what you do with it. You think you're special because you have talent? So did I. You think your bloodline entitles you to greatness? But talent means nothing if you're not willing to suffer for it. Pain is the price of power. And if you're not willing to pay it, then get out. You're already defeated. I didn't grow stronger because someone handed me power. I grew stronger because I refused to be anything less than the best. And that journey, it's long. It's brutal. It's lonely. People
What
will
up,
laugh
Beast
at
Mode?
you.
Good to see
They'll
you. How you
doubt you.
doing?
They'll mock your pride. Let them. Because one day, they'll regret it. One day, they'll understand what you became while they were sleeping. But don't do it for them. Do it for you. Do it.
We got lucky and got a double banger because he did his videos last Saturday and then he did another one yesterday. So I was like, man, I get to go ahead and do two different episodes in one Super Saturday. So shouts out to your boy. Hell, I be waiting to put these together for y'all. So we got something to watch on Saturdays because there might not be anybody else talking about Dragon Ball at the moment, or there might be. But hell, I know where we at, right? Shout out to 8 a.m. Central Time Zone, because hell, for the people that slept in and still made it, y'all the real ones.
Do it because the man or woman you are today is not the one who deserves the throne, but the one you are becoming, the one forged in blood, sweat, gravity, and failure. They do. And make no mistake, the path forward is pain. You want strength? Then understand this. Strength is paid for. In pain, in time, and in relentless effort. Every time your muscles scream, every time your lungs burn, every time your body says I can't and you say I will, you are purchasing power. You're evolving. And when that pain comes, when it wraps around your bones like fire and your mind begs you to stop, smile. Because that's the moment you break through. That's the moment you discover that limits are lies. You don't grow when it's easy. You grow when it's hell. I didn't reach my peak by training casually or waiting for the right moment. I reached it by going beyond. Beyond injury, beyond defeat, beyond pride, into pure will. Willpower is what separates warriors from victims. So ask yourself, are you waiting for someone to save you? Or are you ready to save yourself? I don't respect fear. I don't respect laziness. And I sure as hell don't respect cowardice disguised as humility. You weren't born to be average. You weren't made to blend in. You are not some fragile creature waiting for permission. You are a warrior. Act like it, train like it, speak like it, live like it. When the world pushes, you push back harder. When life breaks your ribs, you breathe through the pain and keep fighting. And when death finally comes for you, you meet it head on, with fists clenched and pride intact, because you know you never ran. You never quit. So now the choice is yours. You can return to your comfort, back to your distractions, your weakness. Or you can rise. You can become the thing you were too afraid to believe you could be. A force of nature, a legend, a warrior. Because I'm telling you this not as your prince, but as the one who stood in your place once. You are capable of more than you can possibly imagine, but only if you're willing to sacrifice who you are for who you must become. So what will it be? Break your limits or die trying? The decision is yours, but choose fast. The battlefield waits for no one.
You already know we rock with the Prince of All Saiyans. It might only be 5 or 6 of them. Hell, who knows? That might get into a Saiyan rebirth arc one of these days. Hell, fuck Black Frieza. We know what he gonna do.
Input from the World Tournament. After that, we were introduced to some Fist of the North Star bandits. They got lost and found their way to Dragon Ball. Now, this one introduces something interesting. If you know anything about Sun Wukong, the character Goku is based on, you know he has 3 iconic tools. Goku has 2 of the 3 tools, but Toriyama never introduced the 3rd, that tool being the sealing gourd. Here, it has the power to seal someone if they don't answer when their name is called. After being sealed, they're turned into a liquid that if someone drinks, they can steal the sealed person's power. Kinda OP, huh? Luckily, Goku is able to avoid being converted with the power pole, and turns the gourd on its owners. Goku lets the villagers keep the gourd. Shame he couldn't keep it, as this is filler. But it's not really his style to use something like that anyway. The bandits are no match for...
Not that it's not his style to use something like that. It's not to Akira Toriyama's writing to use something like that. Shouts out to our favorite D student. Y'all know we get constantly gonna grade his work. Although we enjoy the shit out of it, we are, critical over people because, I don't care what nobody says. I am a very judgmental motherfucker. It's this judgment that made me make it to 40, right? Shouts out to all them YGs that don't make it past 19, because, I'm 39. You dig?
for Goku, but assuming they've been using the gourd for a while, they're probably pretty strong. So let's give them 67 and 73. Now...
Yeah, I know when to lead a scene. Popcorn, why wasn't you at the party when the motherfucking shots started ringing out? That's because I came late and left early, you dig? I waited till I knew that the event was going good to show up, and then I left before it went bad. See, because that's my superpower. I'm like, it's spider senses or something. My shit be tingling. I got to get up out of here and make something else tingle, because, yep, what happened after I left? People started shooting. Oh, that's about right. You never wait till the end of the party to leave. Hell, that's when the shit happens. Somebody figured out they going home alone. Now they mad at me. No, we got Dragon Balls at the house, so we gotta go.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't
I
forget
love
to
this
become
intro,
a member
though.
of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Zen?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
So you actually got Bunny talking
The
that shit.
domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the fucking crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Shot. Quickly clip that last part. Everything gonna be back in the game this week.
Now, although with the overall situation having to now be at its most absolute dangerous when taking a look at what we are currently up against, while I am busy in holding off Lord Raijin down here in the Demon Realm, I can only hope that our heroes are doing what they need to in order to survive, because we will not be so lucky to go and have another chance like this again.
As our story now continues, following the initial battle waged on Earth involving the elite demons Kyrax and Kaima, alongside with the demon scientist Sugami having to go up against Ultra Android 17, Ultra Android 18,
Definitely
and
a
now
double
Orange
banger
Piccolo,
on
which
episode,
was
so
only
let's
just
see
upon
what's
with
cracking.
Kyrax being shown having to help up Kaima, as Orange Piccolo had discussed further plans with the androids and having to take these demons down, was when Kyrax then went on to quickly respond, "Here now, Kaima, are you okay? For there couldn't have been any other way in having to go and detect that mortal from approaching us, because had he been spotted just seconds prior," Kyrax adds, "then I have no doubt that he would have ultimately had been taken down before being given the chance to go and strike. And so what exactly do you think our next move is going to be?" With Kaima responding, "Well, our one and only main objective here is to go and make sure that they are all destroyed, no matter what it is that we will have to go and do in order to make sure that this happens, Kyrax. But even now, while I observe these creatures from below, we may not be able to go and get very far with the Namekian here to help aid those androids in battle, and so we'll need to come up with a strategy." As Piccolo went on to address the androids by then responding, "So what exactly do you make of those two down there? Are you actually able to go and take them both down, or would you need for me to go and buy you both a little bit of time while you go and figure out on what you can do to try to go and stop them?" With Ultra Android 17 having to then respond, "Well, they aren't stronger than how we are at this point in time. However, whatever they possess in terms of being able to wield paralyzing techniques," 17 says, "just might end up causing a few issues here for us, but nothing that we won't be able to go and handle, and so we should go and take this time to try to attack them now before they wind up in having to go and try to do what they just did out here to us again." To which it was only just as the demon scientist Sugami was then shown having to appear was when Sugami then went on to address Kaima and Kyrax by then responding, Now, fellow warriors, for there is no need to go and lose focus, as our battle here involving these creatures is still very much far from being over. And while I'm not exactly surprised by the outcome within this current situation here," Sugami continues, "and I must admit that by watching these insects go and get the better of even our most refined hunters is quite irritating, to say the least. But don't proceed in having to go on to look so defeated here, fellow warriors, as I had anticipated that this universe was was indeed actually going to express its resistance towards us, but this too, however, will not last forever, Sugami continues, and what I'm about to go and unleash onto them will mark the beginning of the end of Universe 7, and as well as also having this become the ultimate and perfect game changer for us moving forward, as since we had went and had sworn our very allegiance in winning Lord Raijin the day by vanquishing all of his enemies by any means, allow for me to hereby go and offer you both a helping hand of sorts by leveling out the playing field, which will undoubtedly have this battle go and lean within our favor in due time, Sugami says. And so to our fellow enemies who look down from above...
See, this is what I like about Unrelent, because, you know, he actually is a student, because, you know, he be putting in that work. You see what I'm saying? Not only is he getting his shit done to where he got shit going, popping off weekly. Boom, 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 boom. Then he goes from one story straight to the next. Boom, 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 boom. It ain't no, oh, this guy died, so now we're not going to do any new work for like 3-4 years, because, you know, the last project he did might have been his last project. You see what I'm saying? This dude's actually putting that in that work. You dig? That's why we right here every Saturday for something super, because, you know, we got many people talking about Dragon Ball as far as the fan animation goes, and then, you know, there's always going to be Dragon Ball content no matter who's writing it, because hey, if you got a good writer, there's plenty of ways to expand a story, whether you consider it canon or not, because, you know, canon or not doesn't matter. Are you watching, motherfuckers? Probably. It don't matter if it's canon or not, because most people go watch. But anyways, let's keep it popping.
I offer you this single and final warning before having to re-engage, Sugami continues, that while you may have went and lasted this long by enduring some of the many attacks that we had planned prior to having us arrive within your dying universe, what comes next will ultimately be something that none of you had prepared for prior, as my shadow demons from here on will ensure that you will not survive what's waiting for you ahead, but if you just so happen to do, then you will never go on to live to see another day in being the same as you are right now ever again, Sugami says. And so prepare for the worst, because this is where the tides will suddenly begin to slowly change within our favor. And so I would go and think twice about what you are all about to go and get yourselves into here if I were you, Sugami continues, upon now having to see Shadow Demon Vegeta and Shadow Demon Piccolo rise up from the ground, because my Shadow Demons aren't going to be as easy to go and take down as you would all like to assume for them to be, and on top of it all, there is but far more to these warriors of darkness than meets the eye, and so if you expect for this to end within your favor, then I regret to have to inform you all that it won't. But you don't have to simply go and believe me, as you will all come to see this for yourselves. As Piccolo went on to then shockingly respond, whoa, what? Please tell me that I'm seeing things down there or anything, because is that Vegeta on the left and me on the right? So these are what those shadow demons look like that are based around the ones that Goku had mentioned. Wait a second, Ultra Android 18 went on to then quickly interrupt, and so are you telling me that those demons can literally go and make copies of us through having us appear through those forms seen down below? As Sugami then went on to continue, oh indeed, but why stop there when we are only now just getting started, am I right? And so just in case if you truly thought that my shadow demons here were going to be all that I was going to go and bring upon you all here today, then you might want to go and turn around and double down on your collective efforts here against us, Sugami says, upon having to be shown spawning yet another Leviathan and being shown grabbing onto both 17 and 18 with Piccolo being left speechless. And as I hereby want to go and introduce you all to one of the many Leviathan giants that dwell within the demon realm, which I will guarantee you all here and now that you will not be strong enough to go and survive against. Zeros, you've got to actually be kidding me here, Piccolo shouts upon being shown charging up for his special beam cannon. Oh, well, no time then, and so hang in there, you two. I'm going to try to go and blast you both out of that thing's vice grip, but I may need a minute or two here just so I can go and make sure that this will... No, I don't think so here, Namekian and Sugami went on to quickly interrupt upon having to see Shadow Demon Piccolo attack Orange Piccolo in the sky, because as you could see, Vermin, Lord Raijin had made sure to go and double down by ensuring our positions across the multiverse in having having to go as far as to ensure that we are successful here within our missions, and it's because I am willing to go and stake my life on the line in order to go and make sure that Lord Raijin's will is to be done without having us fail, Sugami continues. No matter how many of you go and decide to try to stand within our way, you will ultimately be met with fire and death along the way, and as I don't intend on going and letting Lord Raijin and the Dark Masters down, no matter how far, I will need to go in order for me to go and prove it. Sirs, listen to me, 18. We can still go and muscle our way out of this thing's clutches and being able to go and free ourselves, but we'll have to go and act now while we still have the... Well, maybe the two of you must have already forgotten on who it is that you are fighting here, Kyrax went on to then immediately interrupt by having to be shown electrocuting both 17 and 18 alongside with Kaima. But Kaima and I here certainly didn't go on to forget it, and so therefore, I think that payback is in order, androids, as Kaima then went on to quickly respond. And before the two of you go and get any ideas here, just know that we aren't going to be standing for it. Not while we are still around, you aren't, and so...
Now, see, the part of this story that's not currently making sense is with the androids upgrades, they should be able to be absorbing that damn... The fuck he say it was? Shit, the motherfucker that's holding them. The only thing they got to do is just actually put their palms out and start absorbing this energy. But you know, this is kind of climactic writing, but he kind of nerfed the androids in this very situation also, because that's one thing about the androids. You don't want to get stuck to where you're stuck in contact with them. I mean, they could say, well, their hands aren't able to move. No, nah. You can flip your shits around and be touching that big motherfucker easily. I mean, I'd be taking them down, because, you know, I take shit down. I'd be like, oh, you just gonna grab me, but you forgot what I can do, right? Yeah, just touching me. You know, these palms is meant for everybody. You see what I'm saying? Chinese massage parlor with these motherfuckers. We'll pass them out.
So I want you to go and feel every part of this, android. And as I want you to go and feel every bit of the exact same levels of pain that you had went and put me through since coming here, Kaimo went on to continue upon still
yeah,
being
you grabbed me, but you know what? I grabbed you too. You see what I'm saying? Look at Bowman. Shouts out to that capsule court. We got something covered up with her.
Within his clutches, then I am going to continue to go and use everything that I possibly can in order to go and fry you until there is nothing left of you but particles just blowing within the voids of darkness. Oh dear, this isn't looking good for any of them out there, and unless we are to go and do something to help them both continues upon being shown having to oversee the battle from below, then they won't be able to go and last much longer out there without some kind of a helping hand, Bulma says. And so we'll need to go and do our part by sending out our supercell prototype, because nobody had went and mentioned anything about them having skyscraper-sized monsters down there within the demon realm, Bulma continues. And so while we still have a little bit of time left...
See, that's exactly why Bulma was introduced early in the show, because she's trying to solve problems. She said, hold on, they got these big ass motherfuckers running around this bitch. Hell no, we prep for this. Bulma's starting to act like Batman with prep time. For those who don't know, that means she's hold on, that's a gas. But anyways, for those who don't know, that means Bulma's a bad motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? You give Bulma some prep time, she gonna start putting fucking foots in asses, okay?
Bulma continues, let's hurry and open the gates and activate the Supercell Defense Program right now before those monsters wind up destroying all of us if we don't. Which it was only moreover as Orange Piccolo was then shown having to fall face down on the ground and having to now land directly in front of Sugami was when Sugami went on to address Piccolo by then responding. And just like that, look how quickly you were shown having to go and be brought down onto your knees despite having to believe in your foolish abilities to honestly be enough to withstand such an onslaught. Now you held on admirably, that much I will give you, Sugami says. However, in the end, you should have been far smarter than to go and choose to go and engage against my precious shadow demons the way you just did, as they were both barely shown in having to even have the need to exert themselves all that much and having to go and bring you down out here against them. And so what are you going to possibly try and hope to do against me now, Namekian? Well, I feel like ripping your head right off those skinny little shoulders of yours is what I really feel like doing here, demon, Piccolo says. And so just know that no matter what it is that you go and try and throw within our direction, you will never find yourself succeeding, no matter how many of these demons you decide to go and throw within our way. You hear me? With the demon scientist Sugami responding, such anger and such passion. Oh, I hear you loud and clear, Namekian. However, it's a shame that you couldn't go and forward this very attitude in joining Lord Raijin. But nevertheless, I just want for you to go and know that it has truly been a pleasure in having to go and deal with you here, Namekian. And so while I can't promise you that this will be quick and painless, what I will, however, go and promise you is that this will leave an everlasting... Oh, just hurry it up and get this over with then, Demon Piccolo quickly shouts upon being shown spitting in Sugami's face. And as I could honestly go and care less about what your master's will and desires are, and so just hurry it up and get this over with if you are actually going to do it. And as I am on...
See, instead of spit, that should have been an energy blast to the face. Come on now, you missing your opportunities to take him out viciously. These dudes did not come playing with y'all. I mean, hell, wait till Beers gets in this game again. Man, you gonna see Hakai's out the world, I'm guessing. But anyways, let's go.
Honestly, really starting to get sick of having to listen to you preach, with an angry Sugami then responding, how dare you? How dare you go and spit in my face and act as though there isn't going to be any repercussions to follow? Well, not today, Namekian, and so now take from him what you will, as you are both free to go and tear this mortal apart as you choose, my shadow demons. And as I want for there to be nothing left of him by the time we are done here. But then, it was suddenly just then from out of nowhere, as both Shadow Demon Piccolo and Shadow Demon Vegeta were then shown getting knocked off Orange Piccolo, was when Sugami then went on to continue. What the? And just what in the world was the... Wait. No, it can't be. Oh, damn it, not now. But just how? For I should have known better than to go and think that the Namekian was going to be the last of them to go and get in the way of our plans after saving those androids up there, Sugami continues. And now with the others here and having them shown be standing together alongside the Namekian, I am going to need to have to hurry and change up our strategy going into this fight against them, Sugami continues, before we end up losing out on everything that we have been fighting to control and destroy along the way.
The spit's just disrespectful. And you know Piccolo aura forming anyway, so...
Hey, are you alright?
Shouts out to the aura forming of our dude Piccolo. You know, he and just instead of just taking the dub, he just aura formed by spitting in his face. Completely disrespectful.
There, Piccolo, for we were able to go and sense the battle that you guys have been waging here while on Lord Beerus' planet, and so we came here as quickly as we could when we sensed your energy during the middle of combat, with Orange Piccolo responding, well, I'll be fine for now, but we can't go and allow for them to be given any chance to leave here when considering on how dangerous they are, and so we'll need to go and hurry and end this here on Earth, rather than go and let them escape us later on, Piccolo says, with Sugami then having to then turn around by then responding, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Universe 7's God of Destruction Beerus, and the savage brute that was seen waging war against that fallen angel Murno who goes by the name Broly. Oh, this is just bad, Sugami continues. Very, very bad, as Kaima then went on to turn around by addressing the others by then responding, there's more of them, but just how and where in the world did they just suddenly go and drop in from out of nowhere like this? But then, it was only from within those very moments now from out of nowhere, as a barrage of rockets and missiles were then shown having to slam directly into the giant Leviathan, was when Ultra Android 17 then went on to quickly shout, man, just what the heck are those? Never mind that, and so let's hurry and go and get out of Dodge here before we end up getting caught in the middle of these things, 18? Whoa, hey, wait a minute, look over there, Ultra Android 18 went on to then point out upon having to see Kaima and Kyrax being shown getting slammed by multiple missiles, as those missiles and rockets also seem to be smashing right into those other two demons as well over there, but hey, 17, hurry and turn around and having to go and take a look right behind you, to which as Ultra Android 17 did, it was only from within these very moments now to everyone's shock, as Capsule Corp Supercell Max was then shown having to emerge from Capsule Corp and having to blast his way through, our heroes were only then met by none other than a functioning Cell unit that was built by Dr. Hedo and Bulma, as Ultra Android 17 then went on to quickly respond, "It's Cell, but just, it looks kinda like Cell, but are you seeing what I'm seeing on his chest over there too, 18? For I think this gigantic monstrosity of an android just might be on what Bulma and Dr. Hedo have been constructing and working on, while also having to go and mention something about activating him while we were in our stasis chambers, and so I think that this giant monster here is actually going to be on our side during this fight," 17 adds. "And so just go and take a look at him, for he is just as big as that Leviathan was shown in having to be, and the amount of missiles on this thing is just absolutely ridiculous. But at the same time, this was exactly what we will go and need in order to go and take these suckers down for good," 17 says, as Ultra Android 18 went on to then respond, "Well, I can't believe that I'm about to go and say this, but honestly, I'm actually rather glad that this giant man-made war machine is on our side for this one, and that is simply because I don't even want to begin to imagine as to what kind of firepower they went and added onto this one," as Beast Gohan then went on to chime in, "You've got to be kidding me, a good version of Cell, and he's actually on our side instead of having to go and attack us," Beast Gohan utters. "Well, if I didn't believe in miracles before, then Bulma and Dr. Hedo sure did a good job in turning me into a believer now, because just look at that thing," with the demon scientist Sugami having to then respond, "This is now beginning to spiral out of control far quicker than anticipated, as Lord Raijin had given explicit orders that if things had escalated beyond our control, that I am to go and unleash everything that I possibly can if it means in having to ensure our victory, because we will not be able to go and survive this if this goes on to continue the way that it currently is, for their strength is in static, which means that they are learning from one another in real time, and if we go and give them much breathing room here going forward, then they will ultimately go and find a way to unify into something far worse than what we have faced so far, which is exactly what we were trying to avoid, as I was hoping to go and avoid this contingency, but deploying everything now means that we are on the brink of losing everything that we have been striving towards in building," Sugami continues, "as I will not go and allow for that to stand, given what we were just able to go and collect throughout the time of having our demons scout their universe. So while I may not exactly know on where some of our most valuable and powerful demon fighters have suddenly disappeared into," Sugami went on to continue, "unless they have somehow had already been destroyed by now, then the longer these vermin are allowed to coexist and bringing aid to one another, then the more troublesome they will grow to become, and if that ends up happening," Sugami continues, "then I have no doubt that we will end up losing if we allow for this to go and continue. But where are the others?" Sugami questions. "Where are some of my elite warriors, and just where in the world are the Dark Masters? As I am being left with no other choice than to go and use what lies within our reserves if these mortals continue to go and push back against us like this," Sugami continues, "for our mission is to go and remain lest we warn to go and be annihilated by Lord Raijin if we are to go and fail, and if that ends up being the case," Sugami says, "then I must go and draw upon and call forth yet another one of my shadow clones in order to help even out the battlefield, and so, if those mortals are looking to go and try to take me out first, then I'll go and make sure to go and take a massive piece of them alongside with me if that's what these little vermin are looking to go and try to do.
He came for the squads, man. But he's a scientist, so he ain't trying to put it to work. He just got things around him. Let me show you the tools of the trade, man.
Process of this battle or not, Sugami says, as Beerus went on to then address Sugami by having to then chime in. "Now, I wouldn't go and be too hasty here if I were you, because whatever you think is going to honestly be enough to go and stop us won't be remotely near in being what will ultimately be enough to actually go and put us down here, Demon. And with Bully here as my go-to monster who is waiting for me to go and give him the orders to attack you, whatever it is that you are getting ready to go and bring out and unleash against us here isn't going to work," Beerus says, "but since your arrogance appears to be what is guiding you down this path of destruction here against us, it'll only be a matter of time before I go and set this monster loose onto you, and trust me when I say you will not be ready for what he is all about, Demon," with Sugami responding, "Yes, Well, as powerful and as fearsome as your title across many worlds is known for, I could go as far as to reassure you that we are more than ready, willing, and are able to compete against such beasts such as the one whom you are standing next to within the moment. However, God of Destruction, I hope that you aren't going to go and underestimate what we are still very much capable and having to go and do here. Sugami continues, as I say that to say that just because you end up finding yourself being backed by an unrelenting monster of a mortal doesn't always mean that he is truly capable of having to go and get the job done here against us, because with another one of my many shadow demons having to now...
Well, hopefully coming up in the future, I don't care who takes over and writes Dragon Ball, but hopefully they actually make Gohan go from scholar to scientist, because what's the point of being smart as fuck book-wise if your ass ain't gonna be able to do something with that, and you're one of the most powerful fighters we got? Hell, it don't matter if you're stronger than Goku or right at Goku's level, which you get how we feel about that. It don't matter either way. If you Gohan fans, you go ahead and rock out. But if you a Goku fan, you know damn well you like, oh, his son ain't finna be stronger than him, is he? Well, probably so, because that's the way the story goes. The kids are stronger than the parents. So that's the good thing about that moving forward. Hell, but you got strong ass parents though. You got Goku and Vegeta as parent figures. Now Gohan himself is a parent, so you know Pan's stronger than him, which is, let that sink in. Yeah, for the people that didn't catch it, let that part sink right in. Pan's stronger than Goku. Hell, we can talk about it in the chat or whatever the fuck y'all want to do about it, because those are gonna be facts. Goku stronger than Bardock, right?
Join in on all of the action here against you, and I wouldn't go and start issuing out warnings just yet, for there is still much more for us that is left that I am eagerly awaiting to go and show you, Beerus. As if you still wish to go and doubt what we from the demon realm are truly capable of and having to go and do, Sugami says, then go ahead and step right up and I will gladly be happy to show you in the meantime, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 40 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that although with the overall situation having to now be an extremely dangerous one when having to consider what we are all currently up against, so as long as our heroes are able to continue to push these demons back, do I only then believe that we will have a fighting chance of winning this war by the end of the day? But while I am currently stuck in having to deal with this Dark Lord on my own, whilst entrusting that our heroes are able to hurry and forge a plan that'll help our cause in the long run, I will need to do what I have to do if we hope to make it out of this in one piece. And because of this, you do not want to go and miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, and before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to Unreal Ink Gaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content. So with that, we thank you all so much for watching, as we'll be seeing you all again for the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Ink
We got something else to do. Shout out to clips, because you know I be finding these fire ass clips.
A lot of people say that Neva has pretty broken magic, but I don't think that's actually true. He was able to activate the Dragon Balls early, but don't forget, Kami was also able to do the same, choosing to activate the Dragon Balls early for Goku to revive his friends back in early Dragon Ball. He was also able to draw the Dragon Ball towards him pretty easily, but you have to remember, Neva isn't your basic Namekian found on planet Namek. Rather, he's the last surviving Namekian from their origin in the Demon Realm. That's why he knew Piccolo's father Katatz was able to create warriors stronger than the legendary Super Saiyan and even boost Goku's power beyond its limits. All of this making him better than every Namekian by default and even more so than Grand Elder Guru.
I mean, he was a goat.
Happy New Year! Anybody got any New Year's resolutions?
For me, I plan on being home more with my family.
Wait, for real, Dad? Never mind.
That's why you'll never be father of the year, Goku.
I'm just acting like your non-existent father. You sad black bitch!
Think it's about time I invest in getting a home. Maybe even settle down with someone.
Sleeping in those wastelands finally got your back hurting, huh?
Forget about the home part, but you settling down. That's hilarious.
Even asexuals deserve love, too.
I'm not fucking asexual.
But you lay eggs.
You fucking turtle.
That nigga's
Fuck y'all,
Yoshi.
niggas.
Well, for me and 18 had a talk, and we're thinking about being more open with our relationship.
So your wife wants to wrestle with some BBC, and you're okay with that?
A happy wife, happy life, am I right?
Fuck
Spoken
nah.
like a true cuck. Aye, if you need a big, strong spaceman like me to come over and please your wife, I got you. You don't even have a dick to begin with. What the fuck are you even gonna do? Talk her into climaxing. You know, maybe it was a good thing Frieza exterminated your race. I'd feel bad for any future Saiyan if they had the chance of being born with that hairline. Man, fuck you. There's nothing wrong with my hairline.
If there's nothing wrong with your hairline, then I must be a great father.
Hi, you. Take me to a barber. Are you sure about this place?
Hey man, Supercuts is the best place to get a haircut.
Hey, brother, I got you. I can fix that hairline and make you real saucy.
Aye, nice. It's coming along well.
Yeah,
Now tilt your head over a bit.
Ouch, what the fuck?
Fix this. Oh, fuck
No,
shit.
no,
How was
Uh,
I supposed to know he was blind?
I'm going to fucking kill you. Can't believe this
Hey, man,
shit.
you don't forget about all that, man. You're the prince of our sayings, man. You better represent that haircut and rock with confidence.
You know what, you're right. I am the prince. Let's go. Just joined blackpeoplemeet.com. Hopefully I get lucky. Fuck niggas. Y'all like the new cut.
Nigga bald.
I got y'all speechless, huh? As expected from the prince. Brother looking like the prince of all thumbs.
I can't tell if you went to a barber or went to chemo.
Well, there goes that McDonald's sponsorship.
You should go and beat that barber's mama's ass for how bad he fucked you up.
Don't worry. Shinran might be able to fix
I
this.
strongly think this is beyond Shenron's powers, Goku.
I'd never get some cornrows with some enhancements, but he ain't want to listen to me.
And fuck y'all niggas. I don't know what you're laughing at, Piccolo. Your ass is bald, too. Bald? Bitch, I got hair. What? Yeah, try again, little nigga. Been dreaded up for a hot minute now.
shit.
You know what? I'm leaving.
It's okay. Just use
He
Bulma's
said
card to
been
get a
dreaded
hair
up for a
transplant.
minute.
Fuck you, cuck.
That's hilarious. I be finding these videos. I be telling y'all that's why it's gonna be a Super Saturday every Saturday.
You're making a big mistake. Where do you think you're going? Pity, what a waste of talent. Not today. Back off. Have it your way. A tough guy like you should be able to face the truth.
Are you okay?
Go ahead and call the fade. Like, why am I fighting this grown ass man? Oh shit, part 2. Let's go.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for
See, that's why I said I could just
exclusive
keep watching
manga
this
content
intro.
and early access. Isn't that right?
Yeah, for the people that don't like my editing skills, sorry.
Tons of great stuff on there, actually.
Yeah.
But did you really have to blow up the
By
city?
the time any of these videos ever gets edited by me,
You blew up
I'm
the
paying the person
domino,
that's doing
and
the work I want
you
did.
realize the fucking crisis here?
And you will be next. unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
You know, respectfully trying to review his content just on the YouTube side, because y'all know if y'all go support the Patreon, y'all can be way further ahead. Yeah, then y'all come talk shit with me.
Now, although I wasn't expecting for the overall situation here in Universe 7 to go from bad to worse within such a short amount of time, I hope that our heroes are able to go and keep this momentum going. Otherwise, we are in for a very tough time against these demons, which is why they must be stopped before it's too late.
As our story now continues, back within West City on planet Earth, with our heroes now shown facing off against some of the Demon Realm's most powerful adversaries, now having to stand against them, to which it was only just after Sugami had summoned and calling forth Shadow Demon Gohan, with Beast Gohan now shown standing in opposition and having to confront and challenge Shadow Demon Gohan, was when Beast Gohan then went on to quickly respond. So that was what you had went and done with our blood when you managed to go and get one of your very own to come and take samples of our DNA when you did, huh? Well, alright then, but this one here is going to be mine and mine alone to go and take down, so whenever you are ready, Gohan continues, then I want you to go and show me as to what you're really made of, and I'll be happy to go as far as to show you on why you could never surpass the original. And since I already know that what is standing before me isn't going to be a simple cakewalk of a battle, Gohan adds, what I will, however, go as far as to tell you, by the time that this is over, only one of us here will end up in having to be the last one standing out here, and that someone is going to be me, and so now let's go! To which it was only within that very moment, as both Gohan and Shadow Beast Gohan had wasted little time in having to collide, was when the demon scientist Sugami then went on to quickly chime in. Oh, this isn't good, for I never would have expected to go as far as to be forced in having to go and use this Shadow Demon against these mortals this early, for his synchronization isn't as perfect as the others. However, it appears as though he is still able to hold his own out there, as this is far from an ideal situation to have us go and be in within the moment, Sugami continues, for these mortals are far more composed than I had originally anticipated for them to go and be, as they have went and seen this kind of threat before, as that much is obvious by the way they are all seemingly having to go about this situation together, and so because of that very fact, I must hurry and try to think of a counterattack against them fast, because if they are somehow able to go and discover a method in going as far as to go and take...
Oh yeah, this is why I said ain't somebody just standing here just waiting to fuck some shit up, cause people came to his house tripping, and you know how he be about that. He ain't about that life. You come to Beer's planet tripping, you already know you got some work. Shout out to that guy that Destruction Beers, cause you see he's gonna get active.
my army down, then I'm going to, just so that we are clear here, Beerus interrupts upon having to see Sugami turn his head by noticing Broly and Beerus, with Beerus having to then chime in. Let me be the first to go as far as to hereby now remind you that if I truly wanted to, I could destroy you with the slightest flick of my wrist when compared to some of your more troublesome allies who are currently out there. But don't you worry, because I have special plans for you, demon, because you see, Beerus continues, and I was actually having quite the pleasant day before you and your horde of outlawed rejects had went and decided to go and ruin all of that for me, and so I just want you to know that I just relish at moments such as these, and especially when fools like yourself finally go on to realize on how small and how insignificant they truly are, just before they wind up going and getting exactly what is already owed to them. And so now, Do you see this pitiful excuse of worthless existence that is standing here before us, Broly? For this is one of just many worthless parasites who plan to erase everything that you cherish, Beerus continues. And as these very plans just so happen to include your friends, your peace, and your very existence, which are all on the line here, as this one here aims to rip it all away from you, which is why he came onto this world to begin with here, Broly. However, since this creature here doesn't appear to fully understand the danger that he is currently up against, what do you say you ought to go and give this little worm a little reminder without having to go and take his life so quickly, Beerus adds, in going as far as to punish this worthless excuse for a life form by revealing to him the fruits of your incredible battle power now, will you? Since he clearly now appears to not get the message here, Broly, and so now go. To which, as Broly was then shown exactly having to go and do, this had now became the exact moment where full-powered Super Saiyan 3 Broly was then shown having to reignite his power onto the surface, as Beerus then went on to quickly continue. Good, just like that, Saiyan, but do remember that he doesn't just threaten you here, mortal, but this creature here just so happens to threaten those whom you also hold dear, along with your allies and the ones who have accepted and trusted you, Broly. And so now why don't you go as far as to go and show this monster?
I mean, just look at the framework right there. Shouts out to y'all. Hopefully you get your screenshot. Because once again, we got Super Saiyan 3 Broly, for those who haven't been paying attention. Because in this storyline, the boy Super Saiyan 3 controlled and all of that. You dig, been training over there. That's why Beerus is like, you know what? Since you a scientist, I'm gonna let Broly fuck you up, because I know you ain't even fucking with Broly in base form, let alone Super Saiyan 3. Hell, that's just overkill, Beerus. He said, yeah, since you look at his face though. That's straight. Yeah. I got you. We zoomed in for you one time on the Zoom, man. And we're clipping it. Back to the program. Oh yeah,
that mortals, just like demons, can ultimately be just as brutal and just as bloodthirsty and ruthless as they portray themselves to be. To which, as Broly was then shown having to dash directly towards Sugami, the demon scientist Sugami had absolutely no response as to what he was about to go and face in Super Saiyan 3 Broly, as Sugami then went on to quickly shout, wait, just hold on there for just a moment, as I am not a warrior here, and so just wait a minute and give me a chance to go and summon a warrior who is far more capable of giving you the challenge that you are looking for, and that is simply because I am not worthy enough in going into now. I wouldn't go and listen to him here if I were you, Saiyan. Beerus went on to then immediately interrupt upon having to see Broly uppercut Sugami in the stomach, for you had went and heard it yourself out there from his very own mouth when he had laid out exactly on what it was that he was looking to go and do to everyone here, Broly. Beerus continues, and since he is trying to go and cover his tracks by going as far as to even lie directly to your face about everything that it was that he had just went as far as to mention, you can give this delusional creature here a small taste by showing him on exactly why his dreams of wiping out your future is but a foolish one, Saiyan. To which this, of course, had now ultimately become the case, because as soon as Broly was then shown having to slam Sugami all throughout the landscape and having to pummel him city by city block and being shown having to slam him through multiple buildings, was when Beerus then went on to quickly continue, oh yes, now that's the kind of violence that I was hoping to go and see from you, and so just like that. So now continue slamming that fragile little skinny body of his through as many of those buildings that you can, Beerus continues. And as I want for that fool to go and feel every little bit of this before we go off and destroy him shortly after, and so keep going and don't stop, Saiyan. To which it was only in the meantime as the giant Leviathan from that point elsewhere was then shown having to completely stand back up and targeting the Ultra Androids, was when Ultra Android 18 then went on to quickly shout, oh no, watch it, 17, for we'll need to go and try to come up with a plan to sidetrack this massive demon first, before it's able to go and grab hold of us like it was just shown and having to go and do again. And so now hurry and brace yourself, because but then it was only just within this very moment before the Leviathan had the opportunity and having to go as far as to attack the Ultra Androids, was when CC Supercell Max was then shown having to ram himself directly into the Leviathan, as Ultra Android 17 then went on to quickly respond, wait a minute there, 18, as I believe that with this massive Cell Max Titan and having to go and target the giant Leviathan, this could end up being our one and only chance to go and take those other two demons down while the Leviathan is distracted. And so now while we still have the chance, let's hurry and go after these two while keeping them separated from one another, 17 continues, as this very well just might be our one and only chance in having to go and destroy them, which lies in having to keep them both apart. And so now let's go. To which of course it was only just upon with Ultra Android 17 and Ultra Android 18 having to now clash with the elite demons Kyrax and Kaima was when Ultra Android 18 then went on to respond. Well, it's like I said, just do what you need to go and do, but just make sure that you go and leave this one up to me, 18 says. To which it was only all the while in the meantime back down below as Shadow Demon Piccolo was from that point then shown having to overtake and attack Orange Piccolo, with Orange Piccolo being shown having to lose, was when Gohan then went on to quickly shout, no, Piccolo, you'll need to try and muscle your way out of having that thing go and try to control the pace of your battle here against it, because while me and Vegeta go and take care of these other two Shadow Demons, Gohan continues, you'll need to go and hurry and try to maintain some kind of control over that thing before it goes and finds a way to overtake you, with Orange Piccolo being shown having to then respond, well, I'm trying here, Gohan, but don't worry about me and just focus on having to go and deal with that demon that you are currently fighting against, and as I won't stand to go and allow for these monsters to overtake us, despite in having us be the originals behind what these things are made of. And so while I go and hold this one off, just make sure that the Shadow Demon that you're currently fighting against doesn't manage to somehow go and find a way to intervene in any of our battles here against these things, because they seem to work far better together when hunting and attacking their targets in packs, Piccolo says. And so I think that if I were to go and try to create enough space here between us, then I believe that I could... Wait, surely my blasts aren't just going to... Oh, you've got to be kidding me, Piccolo continues upon having to see his blast go right through Shadow Demon Piccolo. For my attacks were shown in having to simply tear right through him with no damage that was done on top of it all. Oh, just great. And as I should have expected that something that was already made up of my DNA would go and try to use my very own ultimate against me, Piccolo continues, which only now leaves me with no other choice, since I think I may in fact actually see an opening here up there against that thing that just might very well be my winning ticket in having to beat this thing for good. But I will need to go and keep his attention drawn towards me for just a moment if I hope for this to actually work, and so now let's just see on where this goes. As I've got to go and act fast, which I think I know of a perfect counterattack in stopping that blast from having to make contact with me. And so as tough as you may in fact actually be, Piccolo continues, I'm about to go and show you on why you could never be any tougher than the original, and so here goes. To which it was only seconds later with both Shadow Demon Piccolo and Orange Piccolo now shown having to be locked within a very intense beam struggle was when Orange Piccolo then went on to continue, damn this monster, as he appears to be a lot stronger than I imagined that he would go and be, and so unless I am to go and find a way to hurry and counter this massive special beam cannon from colliding, then I'm not going to go and last much longer out here against this thing, since he appears to have far more power to him than meets the eye, Piccolo says. And as I'm losing ground here and fast, but I must continue to try to keep pushing through, because I can't just go and allow for myself to be overtaken and destroyed by a cheap knockoff copy of who I really am. As Vegeta then went on to quickly address Piccolo by then responding, well, don't try and manage to overpower it just yet, but instead try and create some kind of a distraction in causing that thing to go and shift its focus, because the book that I have been reading implies that warriors who are born as clones, Vegeta adds, are not able to fully go and process and having to be distracted, which you will have to go and hurry and try to do, Namekian, because despite with how powerful these things may in fact actually be, they cannot seem to lock onto and maintain their focus once their attention has been redirected. And as you shouldn't let their power go and harbor your full attention just yet, because yes, as strong as these things are, Vegeta continues, they aren't unbeatable, and so there's still a way to win, but you'll only have one shot at making this count before they go and catch on, Vegeta says. As these things don't appear to be able to go and focus once their attention has been fully shifted, Vegeta continues, and so if you are looking to go and end this once and for all, then hurry and go and draw its attention elsewhere by doubling your power output and blasting that demon into millions of tiny pieces. Oh, damn this thing, Piccolo responds, as I think that Vegeta might be onto something here, because if those demons tend to stagnate when their focus wavers as they're locked within a moment of aggression or having them be distracted, then perhaps that is the key in having to finally go and destroy them. But in order for that to happen, Piccolo continues, if I'm not able to go and pull this off, then there's no doubt about the fact that this demon will try to burn me out the longer this goes, and so I'll have to go and try to see if this will be enough to work, as this has to be the only other measure that I have in putting this thing down once and for all. And so let's just go and see on whether or not you were able to withstand my Hell Zone attack, Piccolo went on to then smirk by responding, because if you are as smart as your creator assumes for you to be, then let's see if you were able to go and bypass your way out of this one. And there, Orange Piccolo quickly shouts, for it looks as though it's worked, because he looks to be taking some damage out there while trying to assess on how to respond up there, and so Vegeta's knowledge on drawing their attention elsewhere is working. And so it's now or never, as we had went and made a promise long ago that we won't let what happened with Murno go and happen to us like that ever again. And so now say goodbye, because this ends now. Full power! Which this was only seconds later, as Vegeta's strategy had now proven to be true, as Orange Piccolo's attack had now gone as far as to completely obliterate Shadow Demon Piccolo from the face of existence, as Beast Gohan went as far as to turn his attention towards Piccolo by then having to respond, "No, right, as I knew that you had what it took to go and bring that Shadow Demon down within due time, Piccolo. But although not all of them appear to be equally matched, since the Shadow Demon that I am currently fighting is far stronger than the one that you had went and managed to destroy just now," Gohan continues, "and I guess I'll go and try to follow that exact same strategy that Vegeta had laid out, if it means in having to go and beat these monsters once and for all." To which, as Piccolo was shown having to huff and puff, as Vegeta in the meantime was then shown having to battle against Shadow Demon clone Vegeta in the distance, was when Piccolo then went on to quickly respond, "Oh, there we are, and so good riddance forever in that regard, and so your idea on doubling my output had worked," Vegeta Piccolo says, "but in the meantime, I'm going to need a second to go and recover here, and so I think that your tactic may actually be what goes and puts these things down for good, and so just try to do what I just did and see if it'll work here in destroying that thing." To which, as Vegeta was then shown completely enraged, as he was from that point then shown having to power up to his fullest and driving the Shadow Demon clone Vegeta back, was when Vegeta then went on to quickly respond, "Alright, Demon, for I have grown tired of watching you continuously stand within my way and having you be a thorn at my side ever since and having to first encounter you on Lord Beerus' planet, and so I've had enough. Because if doubling down my power output is what it'll take for me to ensure that you are exterminated without the chances of watching you go and come back," Vegeta continues, "then watch as I go and give you everything that you've been wishing for, and a little bit of extra for safe keeps too. And so go and use my signature moves against me now, will you?" Vegeta continues upon now being shown having to see Shadow Demon Vegeta using the Gala Gun. "Well, fine, because unlike how it was shown being before, when you were able to go and blindside me through the aid of having to hide behind your fellow demons, this time, however, I am going to go and make sure that there isn't going to be a trace of you left while I wipe you off the face of existence forever, demon. And so now you better go and make sure to hit me by using everything that you are made of, and let's go and find out on which one of us is truly superior." But then, it was only from within this very moment now, similar to the events that were shown transpiring on Beerus' planet with Garlock, as from out of nowhere, a dark wormhole was then shown having to appear directly below Shadow Demon Vegeta, and from that point now having to garner his attention, as Beast Gohan went on to then quickly turn his attention by having to address the others in responding, "Wait a minute now, hold on, don't go and take another step closer towards him, and go and take a look at what is happening to that shadow copy of you beneath him there, Vegeta, for that looks to be the same thing that was shown in having to go and take place on Lord Beerus' planet, where that one demon named Garlock had been shown in getting sucked right through it, and so whatever that thing was that had went and appeared on Lord Beerus' planet now looks to be shown in having to take place here as well, does it not? And so even though I don't really know as to what exactly that thing beneath that demon is that's starting to go and pull him right under, but whatever that is, and wherever this thing had went and came from," Gohan continues, "doesn't look like it was anything that any of these demons had been planning for before having to go and come here, you guys. And because I don't believe that any of these demons were honestly expecting for, well, whatever that thing is to go and play a role during these battles, Gohan continues. And if anything, this only goes as far as to tell me that there appears to be another unknown force here that looks as though it's playing a massive role here and causing further confusion upon having these demons just vanish without a trace, and so we'll need to go and be careful. As Orange Piccolo then went on to quickly respond, wait a minute, so you have all seen this happen to those demons back on Lord Beerus' planet just before and having to go and come here, Piccolo questions? Because, well, if you did, and if this isn't something that these creatures are using to try and get one over on us, then what is it? With Vegeta having to then respond, now I'm starting to see it, but if this is not the first time in having to watch something like this happen, then what exactly is that thing which seems to be consuming them from underneath like this? To which, as Shadow Demon Vegeta was then beginning to be shown having to get pulled right under, was when Piccolo then went on to quickly chime back in. Careful now, because this could ultimately end up being another one of their traps, and so we'll need to go and approach this with caution here, because we don't have a clue on just where that vortex is going to go and take him. Just try not to go and let your anger towards that thing cloud your mind, because one wrong move and it just might be our last here, Vegeta. To which, as Shadow Demon Vegeta was then shown getting pulled completely under, as Vegeta was then shown making his way towards him, was when Primal Blue Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, well, screw having to just wait around and seeing what happens, because I have grown tired of watching these demons continuously try and go and take advantage over us by using any and all available measures that they could go and get their hands on, as I hereby plan on ripping this one apart before he is able to be pulled down under, and so hurry it up and fight your way out of being dragged right under, because you and I have a little score to go and settle, Vegeta shouts, as I plan on settling it indefinitely, since this one here thinks that he is the real deal when he is far from the original, and so now hurry and climb out of that wormhole and come and show me on what you're made of. But then, it was only just before Vegeta even had the opportunity in reaching the Shadow Demon clone version of himself before he was shown getting pulled right under, was when Orange Piccolo then went on to quickly respond, he's gone, Vegeta, and because there is no telling on where that thing was taken or perhaps what those things are planning on doing next, we can't simply go by risking it and having to stand around here and complain about it when you and I both know that this war involving these demons is very far from being over, and so we'll need to go and remain focused at the task at hand before we end up losing ourselves, as Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, curse these things, as I just know that if our battle had been drawn out for just a little while longer, Vegeta says, then I know I would have went and buried that creature beneath the weight of my full power by atomizing his remains and proving that the original will always be superior when compared to a knockoff copy. To which, as Beast Gohan was then shown having to quickly interject himself, was when Gohan then went on to quickly respond, well, never mind that for now, because there is still a lot of work that needs to go and be done here, and while these things are still continuing to go and stand up against us here, Gohan continues, we've got to go and try and use everything within our ability to hurry and destroy these monsters before they end up getting worse for us in the meantime, Gohan adds. And so while there are still things that are currently going on that may in fact be outside of both of our controls and current understanding from within the moment, Gohan continues, this is now going to be our one and only chance for us to go and seize this opportunity and having it go and tip within our favor in wiping these creatures out once and for all, so that way we can go and try to find and help Whis out in having him defeat Lord Raijin for good, as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murnau sequel, manga chapter number 41 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that although I can't really make out as to what those strange vortexes are that continue to appear beneath those demons and having to suddenly drag them under, what I will say is that whatever this could be is something that we must continue to take advantage of while we still have the time to go and do so, because if we don't, and if we aren't focused, then do I only believe that we aren't going to make it through the other other side if this keeps going, and because of this, you do not want to go and miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, and before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to Unreal Gaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content. So with that, we thank you all so much for watching, as we'll be seeing you all again for the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews, flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
How's it going? I bet that, as a Dragon Ball fan, at some point in your life, you've wished that some things from the anime could become real. Just imagine gathering all 7 Dragon Balls and being able to make any wish. Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, don't go anywhere, because in today's video, you'll see with me some incredible Dragon Ball things that actually exist in real life. And if you're a fan of the anime and new here on the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Deal? So let's get started. Number 5, Goku and Chi-Chi's wedding. If you watch Dragon Ball, you definitely remember Goku and Chi-Chi's wedding. Goku married her because when he was still a kid, he made that promise, even though he didn't remember it later on. At the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, Chi-Chi shows up, super mad at Goku for not remembering her or the promise. But check this out. A Japanese couple, huge fans of Dragon Ball, actually had their entire wedding themed after Goku and Chi-Chi's wedding. They went all in, dressed up just like the characters, and looked so much like them. Even the guests showed up in costume. The event was absolutely amazing. And now everyone's waiting to see if they'll follow the anime storyline and bring a little Gohan and Goten into the world. Number 4, Ultra Instinct in real life. In Dragon Ball Super, we saw Goku unlock Ultra Instinct, a state where the body reacts on its own without thinking, making it almost impossible to hit him. Did you know this actually has a real-life inspiration? There's a technique in martial arts called Mushin, which means empty mind. It represents a mental state where the fighter reacts automatically without conscious thought. It's achieved through tons of practice, repetition, and focus. Basically, it's like building such strong muscle memory that your body moves on its own without needing your mind to think about it. Number 3, recovery chambers. Remember those recovery chambers that Goku and Vegeta used after their battles? Yep, something like that exists in real life. It's called hyperbaric medicine, where patients stay inside a pressurized chamber with 100% oxygen, which speeds up the healing of wounds, infections, and several other conditions. This treatment helps regenerate tissue, boosts the effect of antibiotics, and speeds up overall recovery. Sounds pretty familiar, right? Number 2, gravity chamber. Remember the spaceship Goku used to travel to Namek? It had a gravity chamber that allowed him to train in gravity up to 100 times stronger than Earth's. In real life, something similar is used by NASA. Astronauts and test pilots train in gravity centrifuges, which simulate extreme forces to prepare their bodies for situations like rocket launches. It's so intense that some people even pass out during training. Sounds a lot like what Goku and Vegeta went through, doesn't it? Number 1, space pods. In January 2016, mysterious metallic spheres fell from the sky in places like Vietnam, Bosnia, and Russia. The internet immediately went wild, comparing them to the science space pod. gods, like the ones Goku, Vegeta, and Raditz used in the anime. But the truth came out. They were actually pieces of space debris, fuel tanks from Russian rockets that detached after satellite launches. In other words, Earth wasn't being invaded, but for a few moments, every Dragon Ball fan definitely felt that chill down their spine.
Of course, y'all know to go check out the big homie. Shout out to DJ Is. I know you got them beats.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there till the morning light. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there till the morning light. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door.
Anyways, y'all know to hit the buy me a coffee link. Down in the description. And I'll hit y'all back next Saturday with another Super Saturday.